Mike is doing here, y'all, is a lot of people refer to this as like playing with puddles. So he's like taking metal and melding it together to make things. Some people can actually do this naturally. Mike actually, when he was in diapers, he was straight taking cribs.
That's right.
Alright, so welcome back to the channel. I'm not gonna lie, we got ahead of y'all. And this shirt is actually clean. So after working all day here at the shop, covered in dust, and I already been grinding some, we just took a break, dinner. Really, me and Mike went and took dinner. And so these are like your emergency shirts that you keep at the shop. They're just completely stained. Y'all know how mechanic and body shop life is. So let me show you where we're at. We're starting to take apart the rear. We've got some stuff done on the front. We're about to button up the front, and then the checklist is literally everything is fabbed and done on the front right now. This is Tuesday afternoon, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we're about to be moving to the rear, so we're making progress pretty good. Last night between 10 and 11, like when it hit 10 o'clock, we just like plummeted on speed because we were like having to figure stuff out. And anytime you have to figure things out and fab things, that's when it slows down. And what I had done was I had tried to figure everything out at the house, so when we come here, we just had to make it happen. But plans change, things change, and yeah, so let me catch you up where we're at. So Mike has made the engine limiter. He has welded it up. This is what it looks like. This end bolts to the motor. He took this into press and pressed that in out of aluminum tube. And like I said, we'll reuse this. So we have a heim joint that goes in the end right there. This heim joint screws in there, so it's adjustable. And then I think he already welded it. Yeah, he welded that little guy right there onto the old steering rack, with the old steering used to be. So that's going to bolt the heim joint to there, and then the other one's going to shoot back there to the motor, and that's going to be the engine limiter. So that's done. We just letting everything cool. We're going to bolt that in. I need to try to hit that with a little bit of paint. And then I have got the nut certs in place. Nut certed that ended up being 2 pieces of metal thick, so Mike had to weld some nuts in there. And then we went ahead and plated this with a piece of corner iron, so the other end of our oil pan savers are going to go there. And the same on here, the oil pan saver will get welded there. And then we've got all this welded up to bolt on. So what we're about to do now is bolt the plates on, tack the oil pan savers in, and then we'll be able to take them back down. Mike can bench weld them. I'll paint all this stuff up, let that cool down, and then put that in. I've got to throw a nut cert right here on these lines. These are fuel lines. I've been thinking more and more with this header coming right here, and then it's gonna be like kind of dumping out. I think I'm gonna order some kind of protector to go over this, like a sleeve, a fireproof, heat-proof sleeve to at least go from like here all the way up, because even though they have the braiding on them and everything, I think that we need just a little bit more protection on these fuel lines that run under this car. So, but we started back here on the back. Mike has plated this already. So this is a request that Jason wanted done, or said that should be done, is tie in this bar to your rear actual differential. So just a big fat plate was welded in there, and I have started to remove the shock sensors from right here. I'm about to finish getting them out, get the shocks out. I've already cut my crossbar, my new one that's going in there, and started unhooking some lines, and then we're gonna clean up some paint and mark where that goes and get our tabs on that, and then, you know, move forward with the cross bracing. So bang this checklist out. So Mike's gonna tack this bad boy up.
Am I?
Yep. That's what our oil pan savers look like. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we're tacking in our new shock bar right now. Mike's tacking the anti-roll bar tabs in there. This is our new shock bar. So our old one was back there. We're moving the new one up here. Our issue is that our shocks were laid in like this. So Chris Moore was worried that the coals were hitting this bracket right here. You can see where it chipped the paint a couple times. But he didn't like that, and then Jason knew nothing about what Chris said, and then Jason also agreed that, you know, they were just in too far. Here's the other one, Mike. So we're having the shocks where they will mount on the inside of that bar, and then the anti-roll bar will mount on the outside of that bar. Just tacking it in place, and then Mike's gonna take it down, put it on the bench. He'll burn in his tabs 100% on the bench, set all the spacings, everything, and then we will put our bar back in place. So all we have to weld in the car is just burn the bar in, and then we should be throwing some paint on it, bolting the rear shocks back in, and done with that one. All right, we are rocking and rolling, but we are still, almost feel like we are behind schedule. So we were looking at the wishbone, and I don't think we are gonna put it in right now just because we still have so much to accomplish, even though we're moving at a really fast pace. Mike is welding in the 4-link braces that we have discussed a million times on the channel. So them are the new bars up there. That braces the top of the 4-link back to the chassis in the back. So we didn't do that at first. We got in, painted and put in the oil pan savers. So that's what they bolt in right there, and then they through bolt right there. And these, we measured them, they hang down. This hangs down a ½ an inch lower than the headers, which the headers are the lowest point to the car. So they turned out absolutely amazing. I'm stoked with them. This still has to be P-clamped up, but I'm gonna use that bolt right there to P-clamp that up. I just got to get up here to it. I am going to move this hose now to the inside at my house. I'm going to snake it up through there. I've got a hole that will go inside there because, you know, of course your collector's here and it kind of turns out here. So this is coolant overflow hose, and I just don't want it to take no heat. So we're going to move that inside. Besides that, up front, we got all this painted. So we've got to hook the engine limiter up. That's done. Just got to bolt it up. I went ahead and painted all this stuff. But yeah, I got the lines tucked back up, bolted all up, put out of the way, tucked that one way up. But like I said, I still want to get some kind of heat shielding through there on that. So we're making progress. Mike welded the new shock bar. So this is the new bar that the shocks and the anti-roll bar go off of. So what we're moving on to next is we're about to chunk that in, burn that thing in, extend the anti-roll bar links, and then throw the links in and the shocks. Sorry, my mind's blank. Our brain's about fried, dude. We've been running from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. for 2 days now, or we're at almost 10 o'clock or 9:30 right now, I think. So we got a lot of hours in. So I've already cut the parachute mount up. We're not remaking all of this, so I just cut it right there, and then I cut that one right there, and we're literally gonna butt weld and clean everything up and put this at the correct angle, because it was like practically down like this. If y'all remember, it was practically like that, and we need 15 degrees like that. So we're gonna move on to that, and we're also gonna bump over the starter, check the starter to make sure I don't have to take the starter out this week, make sure that's good, and then get underneath the hood and got some little welding to do. Some of that little stuff might have to wait until later in the week. So let's throw this bar in and keep getting at it. We are about to die, but Mike is still, look at that, 10:30 at night, and Mike is putting the freaking 100 and, what you putting on it, Mike thing? 160 foot-pounds of torque on that rear end? Whoa, man.
You showing my stoppers?
Yeah, this is how Mike treats my car. Just put screwdrivers through my freaking rotors.
What? And who makes these rotors?
eBay.
Oh, is it eBay?
Yeah, the front is strange. I won't allow you to do it in the front. Yeah, this is all, that's factory Ford Explorer brake calipers with eBay drilled and slotted rotors. So, all right, we got everything back together. This is our new shock bar right here. Shock's bolted to it. Anti-roll bar is gonna go right there. So we still have to figure out that length. That's our old one tucked back there. So now our shocks are standing straight up and down like they should be. So we want to get this thing, sit it down on blocks. We're about to lower it, and we want to measure this, you know, so they're at a 90 at ride height. Got all the lines put up. I told Mike that we would have to hold off on the wishbone for tonight because we just slam out of time. We're about to throw the drive shaft back in it, and yeah, got all that painted. I went ahead and painted everything before we threw it back together. So I mean, we have been busting freaking tail. Oh, Mike, a big freaking thank you for all of this. So 2 nights in a row and we're dying. Both of our feet feel like they're about to give out, and we're beat, dude. We're beat. So make sure y'all check out Mike's channel, Blanton Dynamics. He posts, you know, some stuff, and he does a lot of more tech stuff than I do, actually. So Mike is way smarter than me when it comes to technical stuff. So he does some pretty cool stuff, and he's still growing and starting out. So make sure you go ahead and jump on the channel before, you know, he takes off. That way you're already there so you don't miss anything. So we're gonna get this thing down, or throw a drive shaft in it. Then we're gonna sit it down, bump the starter, measure the anti-roll bar, and then go from there. We're gonna take it down and measure the anti-roll bar and bump the starter and see what we got. And then Mike, are we calling it a night? Yeah. Mike wants cereal, y'all. He wants to go home and eat cereal. So we definitely fell short. We ain't got the parachute done, but we're not done for the week. I think this car is gonna end up staying here till Friday. We could do the parachute not on the lift. So it's not like it's a big deal. We banged out all the big items. So everything that was hard to do, you're good over here, Mike. Everything that was hard to do, we accomplished, but we still got some little stuff. So we're gonna have to work. Hold on. All right, so me and Mike are still gonna have to work 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there for the rest of the week throughout. So see what we got. No, he said we don't need the Holly. Yo, I'm scared to even hit the starter button. Like, this car has been 2.5 years dead, doing nothing. I don't even remember what Chris said. Oops, man, I'm about to bust my butt. He said ignition. And then just bump it. Holy crap.
All right, it turns over.
Wow, we have got a car that turns over. So we got sun after putting in 30 hours in 2 days. We're gonna clean up this mess. So it don't even look like it, but I promise you it is destroyed. I mean, you know how it goes. There is stuff chunked everywhere. There's stuff all over temporary tables. There's stuff all over the floor. So Mike's bay has been a mess. Mike has to get back to work and do some customer work today. So she's got to go on the rollers. I mean, y'all know how us guys roll, where we just pile our junk everywhere. So I got to clean up. Shop's an absolute train wreck. I mean, going hard for 30 hours in 2 days. That's only, I'm not exaggerating, that's only equal to or less than 1.5 hours in breaks each day. I've kept up with it. So 30 hours, 2 days. I'm exhausted, but this morning I'm gonna clean up the whole front half of the shop, get Percy on rollers where we can push it to the center of the shop. He's gonna have to stay here until Friday at least because we're still not done. We're getting close though. Me and Mike has made some major ground. It's been a slow crawl. It's like you bust your butt, run a marathon, and then you check one little item off the checklist. So because by the time you design it, build it, or fab it, cut it, build it, weld it, paint it, install it, because you know I'm not just chunking nothing together. It's a lot of work. I'm not doing base coat, clear coat. I mean, we're straight up spray painting everything underneath all the chassis stuff, but it's still a lot of work. So I've got, you know, all kinds of crap. I'm gonna get all my stuff on this cart over here. I fired an ex-employee, and not Eddie. Eddie's not going nowhere, and he left that cart a mess. So I got to put up all of our tools, and then, you know, pick up all Percy's stuff, put it on that cart, get that thing rolling, get it to the center. We're gonna get transmission fluid in it. We're gonna trim down the Procharger intake, you know, all throughout the day. I'm probably gonna cut my lunch short for the rest of the week and just continue coming right through it. Fingers crossed I don't collapse this week, because Labor Day weekend, my plans, first start up and to have this freaking car near done. It'll never be done. I'll continuously have more stuff to do, but I want us to just about have a race car come Labor Day weekend. So let's get at it this morning and clean up.